Hi, my name's Heath. I have 3 young boys. I started with my first son, Zach, and along came Jet and really turned our house upside down.
2 venturous boys, totally opposite each other. One being quite reserved and shy, while the other one just a firecracker. We knew a 3rd little boy was coming along, so we were very excited. They were extremely excited. Along came Nash, 3rd little boy.
So we were really excited when Nash came along, which really made the house even busier and more active, and we kind of getting closer to having a full rowing team.
Day 2, noticed there were some issues, and it was around feeding and his mouth and sucking, so that's where the initial concerns came in.
I guess in the early days, the hardest part was trying to work out what was going on. The little things like the other 2 boys were probably crawling and very active at the age of 6 months, where Nash was still really much just struggling to learn how to sit.
In the meantime, we were seeing other specialists on the side and allied health people, you know, round crawling and rolling.
And that's when we started going to our obstetrician, and we went through this whole path of about 6 different doctors and blood tests, gene tests, eye tests, a brain scan. Went over about a period of 3 months, and then I guess that was the hardest day when we walked in and got our diagnosis. Basically he sat us down and very slowly read through his blood results and all that. But then he opened up a big book, which was his medical journal, and he told us, look, it was very hard for him, and he was stumbling to try and get out the words, what he was basically saying. And he said, look, in short, your son's got Angelman syndrome. The hardest part hearing the doctor diagnosis was when he was reading it from the book, saying something along the lines of 80% of children with Angelman syndrome will never walk, they'll never talk.
I just felt like he wouldn't be able to do anything.
The doctor was great, but to be honest, he knew very, very little about it. It's a very rare genetic disorder. It's 3 different versions, basically: a mutation, gene totally missing, and a gene kind of half grown. It's gene number 15, and what that gene does in short is produces a protein which helps activate the brain, which puts everything together. For Nash, he's basically missing that. He's got a deletion. The way I was explained it, it's everything working at an extremely slow pace. One of the biggest shocks with Angelman was definitely the seizures. For us, he just has these things called drop seizures, which is basically he'll just be actively and happy and crawling around, and he'll just kind of just pass out. It's a bit eye-opening and scary at the same time too. And we've had several ambulances come here just when it's multiple too many at once.
Since the doctor, we've worked a lot on Nash privately, doing a lot of intervening with early therapies.
The physio and the OT is basically trying to put everything together and show Nash how to walk and how to crawl properly and grab things with his whole hand.
So now he stands and furniture walks, which coming out of the doctor, that probably wouldn't have been a possibility.
He's now climbing stairs, which is now really starting to keep him quite active throughout the house. With a walker, he's definitely walking around and he gets really excited trying to do that. Nash loves the water. When he's in the water, he's weightless, I guess. He's kicking around and he loves the water. He loves our dog Roxy as well. He'll hang out here with her all day and she's great with him. He loves his food. Nash will probably win the Weet-Bix challenge in the house. Zach and Jet with Nash are probably the best thing ever. Basically our house to Zach and Jet's eyes is probably like a WWF ring. They're constantly wrestling, tackling, hanging on to each other, and poor Nash just tries to jump in there and have a crack. He loves it and he just tries to keep up.
We've discovered some ambassadors for Angelman, one of them being Damien Cook, who's the South Sydney Rabbitohs. We're big Rabbitohs fans. Mum happened to recognise him up at the local shops one day, just grabbed Nash and ran Nash over to him. Got to have a chat with him and a photo, which was fantastic.
One thing that's amazing with Nash is he's always happy. He really puts a kick in your step when you see how happy he is every day.
I'll be pushing him in the pram, you just see people walking towards me with huge smiles on their face, and then I look over and he's just like laughing at them with the biggest smile from ear to ear. He
brings so much joy to our lives, and without a doubt our lives wouldn't be the same without him. Nash
has just come so far. He's turning 2 next month, so he came out of doctor's surgery just hearing can'ts. But we just focus on just day to day and where he's up to daily and what he does achieve, which is amazing.
From the beginning, all we've been told is negatives, but now all we really are seeing is a lot of the positives. I honestly believe how determined Nash is, he will walk.